Today on Larry King Now, Duck Dynasty star Willie Robertson on his famous family.
Most people that you interview, I'm sure they're the one person that's famous out of their family, and for us it was everyone, the kids and the uncles and mom and dad, and so it was this journey we walked together, and so when somebody was having a bad day, a bad week, you know, everybody else was there to pick you up.
On religion and politics.
As far as I run, I don't know. My wife has told me I better not even think about it, so I'm interested in politics. I would love to make a difference and help in some way.
Plus, do you think people choose to be gay?
Larry, I'm trying to figure that out right now. I really am. Since the controversy and since I know all these people, and if the thought is I'm born this way, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out myself.
It's all next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now. Our special guest, a return visit with Willie Robertson. In just 2 short years, the Robertson family of West Monroe, Louisiana, has become a national phenomenon. Millions of devoted fans tune into Duck Dynasty to see the life and times of their favorite Southern family. And Willie Robertson serves as the CEO of the family's booming business and is now a New York Times best-selling author. Duck Dynasty airs Wednesdays at 9 Eastern on A&E. What's the book?
The book, well, there's been several. Our book was called The Duck Commander Family, and we were successful, but I think we've written, I don't know, 8 or 10, 12 books, and
Wow.
a few number ones, and
Not bad.
only in America.
Do you know just how much revenue Duck Dynasty's brand has incurred?
It's been a bunch. It's been a lot.
We're told that at the end of 2013, $400 million at Walmart alone.
Yeah, that was a pretty good account there. I think the folks at Walmart did good with it, and it was a great brand. I mean, last year was just such a phenomenal year for the brand and the show, and it just it was trying to hang on to a moving freight train.
How do you feel about all this fame, the millionaire aspect to it, the money? How are you handling all that?
Well, I hire a lot
you're
of
simple folk, right?
Yeah, we're still simple, and you know, I hired a lot of smart people to help us out. And during that transition, that's what was so hard. Was we were filming the show, which was taking a lot of our time, but then we were also, you know, having to do our regular business, and it was booming and growing and dealing with all the aspects. So it was tough right at first. I think it's tough when you go from just zero to hero that fast, you know, because you don't want to make mistakes and, you know, do bad business, and but you want to remain authentic. So it took a few months, but we finally got it lined out to where we could do the show and do good business, and got it going the right path.
Whose idea was the show?
It was actually, I got a random email from Scott Gurney that was out of L.A. here, Gurney Productions, and he had seen our show that was called Duck Commander on the Outdoor Channel, and he sent me an email. He said, guys, I think you'll have a really big show, and that's where it started. So we never really, you know, it's a difference, I think, today in a lot of reality TV. You got people who are trying so hard and making tapes and trying to become that. We weren't that way. We were approached, and then we said, yeah, I mean, we'll try something. We thought it would help business, and then it exploded.
Is one duck call different from another?
Yeah, we have all kind of different duck calls. The majority of our calls are hen calls. They just make the basic quack of a hen. But we have drake calls and wood duck calls, teal calls.
Do you need the instrument, or can you do it without the instrument?
Well, if you could do it without the instrument, that would be terrible for business. So no, I need people to use the instrument.
Do you ever get to hunt these days?
We do. We just wrapped, so we'll be off here for the next few months, and we spend that time. Now, we still video all our hunts as well. We make DVDs, and so we still do that. I have another show called Buck Commander that's on the Outdoor Channel, so we do deer hunts, and so, yeah, the cameras keep rolling. It's just a whole different type of show.
It's duck hunting season now, right?
It is. It just started, so, and I'm out here, so I'm obviously missing it right now, but it's a long season. It goes to the end of January.
Do you ever feel guilty about shooting an animal?
No, because I eat the animals, or I give them to people that need food. So it's just a food source, just like chicken or pork or beef, and it's a food source for us. And, you know, there's season, there's guidelines, and so, you know, the federal government has come in and said this is how many, honestly, they need to go, because if they get too overpopulated, they'll die anyway. So there's so many out there that, you know, you need to keep that balance. So we're no different than foxes and raccoons and coyotes that are eating them as well.
But it's not a fair fight.
It's pretty, well, I mean, it's pretty fair. It's tough, you know. I mean,
you got the gun and the duck don't.
Yeah, he doesn't, but he has a lot of other tools and skills where he has to look out where he flies too low.
Are ducks smart?
Oh, incredibly smart.
Really?
Oh, incredibly smart. They see well, you got to think about it. Their view is right here, and so they see any movement. So they've been flying all the way from Canada and touching down in all these states. So they're, again, coons and coyotes and all these things are lying in wait for them. So yeah, they get pretty smart. And by the time they get to Louisiana, they've been shot at, caught at, yelled at by everybody in America.
What's the lifespan of a duck? How long do ducks live if they're not shot?
That's a great question. I think 7 or 8 years maybe. I could be wrong, but that's what I've heard.
How's this affected the whole family? All this fame and money and your beautiful wives. You're all pretty. How's this affected you all?
Well, they were pretty before the show, and so they're pretty on the show. I think, Larry, it's brought us closer. We've all now had this singular goal of television. We all went through this together. It wasn't like one person. I mean, how many people that you know? I mean, most people that you interview, I'm sure they're the one person that's famous out of their family. And for us, it was everyone, the kids and the uncles and mom and dad. And so it was this journey we walked together. And so when somebody was having a bad day, a bad week, you know, everybody else was there to pick you up. And your brothers won't, and your mother especially, won't let you get the big head too often. So you can't come in big time and bragging too much, because she'll let you know where you came from.
How'd you get to be CEO?
Well, probably because I'm
smartest.
I won't say smartest, but I definitely had a knack for business and organization. And so, you know, my philosophy on business is I know how to work with people. I'm not that smart, but I think I'm good with people. And so I was able to take, you know, the good of what Dad had and my brothers had and get them what they needed. I get something we need for the business. And then I went out all over the country and made relationships. And
your daughter's on Dancing with the Stars?
She is. Big finale, yeah. That's been quite a journey, a 3-month journey out here, which landed me in Los Angeles for a lot of times, and I just could not be more proud. She blew us away. We had no idea she could even dance. No dance lessons, nothing.
How'd she do?
Well, she's in the finals, so.
Not bad. Up next, I'll ask Willie more about his family, his faith, and the musical he's developing. Stay tuned. Our guest is Willie Robertson of the phenomenal Robertson family and Duck Dynasty. Your son, John Luke, recently became engaged, huh?
He did. He's 19, and people asked how I felt about that, and I was wondering what took him so long. You know, Corey and I were 18 and 17, but yeah, sweet girl, and yeah, he has committed himself to her, so they'll get married next summer. And
is he going into family business?
I don't know. You know, I never have pushed anything on my children. Dad didn't do it with us. If he wants to do that, certainly has opportunities. But he's going to school and he's going to go to college and see what he wants to do.
You have an adopted son, right?
I do.
And a foster daughter.
I do. Yeah, I have a little mixed bag there of children.
Well, the great Bob Considine once wrote, "I have 4 children, 2 are adopted. I forget which 2." They're all the same, right?
Oh yeah, they are.
On your faith, you said faith is the #1 thing in our lives. And so everything revolves around it, our marriages, our families, our business. Was it always that, Ray?
It really was. It's growing up, it was that way. I saw that my parents and, you know, my father straightened out his life. And so growing up, you know, we all went to church and we based everything off our faith. So our marriages, our school, work, all of it goes through there. And we have help with each other through the family that will help us, you know, keep there. Not that we don't get offline at times, and someone will come and say, hey, you know, have you thought about this or read this passage or, you know, prayed about this? And so we've always lived our lives that way, and it's worked for us. You know, we're all married to the same people, and our children are great kids.
Do you ever doubt your faith?
No, I don't doubt my faith. You know, without faith, Larry, I don't know what, you know, people without faith, it's really just a big gamble luck. I guess you hope you're lucky in life or you're not. And so we're going off the premise that there's something beyond this life. So no matter what happens here, even if it's tragic, there is hope for something better, and that's how we live our lives.
But that keeps you going, though, doesn't it?
Oh, it keeps you going. That's the good and the bad. I mean, for people like me, it's you have to not be tempted that life is so good, you know, that it's like, what else would I want? I've got everything I need, and not that I've always had that. But in other parts of the country and other parts of the world, for sure, you know, without faith, you know, if you're born in parts of Africa or that are horrible, and you're born with AIDS. It's what else? How else can you explain that? You hope there's something better, because if life is like that on Earth, it just sucks.
How did you handle the controversy when your father said that homosexual sex is sinful? Both you and your wife defended him.
Well, we stood by our father. Yeah, we stood by him as a family. Again, you know, some of the things he said in that interview I didn't agree with, and I've even said so. And he's even come out and said, yeah, that was a misstatement with things, you know, leading to bestiality. It was a mixed bag there of things. And then he quoted a scripture, and that's in the scripture. So what I want people to know, and what we've said over and over and over, is that we love everybody. And now I can say that, but I've actually put that into practice. There's several people in production, you know, in this business. There's a lot of people that are gay, and so I work all the time, daily. People at the network that I have calls with. In fact, when we were going through there, some of the people that we were working through, to come out of that, you know, were gay themselves, and they certainly knew us and knew that, you know, the caring we have and love. And so I've sat in living rooms and we've talked stories, and we've worked through like with the musical and all these aspects, and it's with gay people, so that we show our love when we work people and accept.
Well, the basic thing, it can only be a sin if you choose it. And do you think people choose to be gay?
Larry, I'm trying to figure that out right now. I really am. Since the controversy and since I know all these people, and if the thought is I'm born this way, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out myself through the passages, because I always have to look through the scriptures to see what's there, and then I put it up against people, put my time in. So I've spent time, you know, with people, and I never. I'm not the judge, you know. God's going to be the judge. So it's not my job to convince people to change their lives. It's really through Jesus. If I just introduce them to Jesus, He'll do that. So all I can do on this earth is love people, accept people, be kind, and be respectful of people. And I think as a family, that's what we do.
Tell me about this musical. It's going to debut in Vegas. What is it?
Debuting in Vegas. It's based off of Corey and I's book, The Robertson Family, and it basically goes through this incredible story of us coming from literally rags to riches, from nothing. It's got a lot of redemption in there. It talks about my father's story. It talks about all these different paths that we took to end up here, and actually to have even a musical about our lives. And so you see this journey, and it's so inspiring. I think people are going to be blown away.
Original songs?
All original songs sang by people who can really sing good. And
who's playing you?
Well, we're not quite sure yet, but I have met the one in the rehearsals, the guy that we want. I have met him, and it's incredible. And I cried the whole time. It's just so surreal watching your life play out.
It's based on a book, right?
Yeah, it's based on our book, on our lives and where we came from, of Corey and I's relationship, and all the family members are in there, and it talks about the television show. So I don't know that there's ever been a musical like this that's so relevant to right now. I mean, it just happened. There's stuff in the musical that happened last year, and so it's so weird seeing that play out, you know, in front of everybody. We'll be on it as well. There's video with us integrated in there, so it's got some.
Is it bound for Broadway?
I don't know. We'll see how well it does in Vegas. I think there's going to be a lot of our fans who want to go see this. I think people go see it who maybe don't even watch our show will go see it and see the story. And if it does, it's great. If not, it's...
When does it open?
Well, we're thinking March now. Originally, we were trying to get it out by February, but just trying to, you know, dot all the I's. And so we're having to move in the place and, you know, read.
What hotel?
It's going to be at the Rio.
How do you like show business? How do you like all this television, being recognized?
Well, it's got its goods and its bads, just like any business. I had to immerse myself into the business to figure it out, figure out who to trust and which way to go. And I like it. It's exciting. I mean, it's certainly exciting. It's provided great livings for all of us, not just for me, but my family. Heck, even my kids. You know, we're able to, you know, to make money through this entertainment. I think our family has a message to put out. So, never would have thought I'd been out here in Hollywood doing this or New York, but here we are.
Like the Beverly Hillbillies.
Kind of like that.
When we return, we'll get a little political with Willie. Will he ever run for office? Stay tuned. We're back with the incredible Willie Robertson of Duck Dynasty fame. What a story. Saw him last night at dinner. Major man. We was walking around at Craig's. By the way, I recommend that restaurant. So does Willie.
So do I.
If you come to L.A.
I've seen you there a couple of times.
Oh, I've been there. Craig's on Melrose. Your cousin Zach ran for Congress. He didn't win. Are you interested in it?
Well, he lost by a half a percentage point, so he was close, and he's young. He's only in his mid-30s. As far as I run, I don't know. My wife has told me I better not even think about it, so I'm interested in politics. I would love to make a difference and help in some way, and who knows? You know, right now I'm kind of busy, and I got a lot of stuff going on, but I'm involved with a lot of politicians, a lot of politics, so I'm interested in that aspect of our country.
Zach said he wanted to help restore America to what she once was, building freedom and prosperity on the anchor of God. You share his political views?
Yeah, yeah, for sure on that.
You agree that America has lost its way?
In some ways, yeah, I think it has. I think it's lost. Of course, you know, I can't go back too far. I'm only 42 years old, but you know, it seems like my main problem is that we just can't work together. You know,
well, whose fault is it? We're supposed to compromise.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to do that. Just like when we were doing the musical, it's the same way. We can work together. We can share differences of opinions, but make something great and work together. And so it's so gridlocked right now, and I hate that. I would think that I could sit down with intelligent people, and although we share different beliefs, and figure out some compromise. That we've seen in the past in politics, for sure. And it just seems like now there is no give on either way.
Well, you need leaders.
No.
What was it like to attend the State of the Union?
Well, I really didn't think it would be a big deal, and then when I got there, I was like, oh shoot, this is, you know, I saw a lot of media wanting to talk to me, and I just wanted to go to see what it was like and see that part of American politics, and I was blown away. I got to go down and see the floor. I actually saw the president that night. Believe it or not, we ran into each other in the hallway, and very nice and very kind. He gave me a hug. So.
Do you envision ever running yourself?
I don't know, Larry. I'd have to be older for sure and wiser, perhaps.
How does the family feel?
And not so busy. Well, my wife's she's not big on it. She's down on politics because what little she keeps up with politicians, it's usually the bad stories. And so, but we need leaders. We need people who can, you know, cross the aisle and figure out how to do things to make our country better. But I'm not a big bash America guy. I think our country's great. I mean, through this country, you know, a family like ours who had no money, it was nothing. We had literally nothing. We were commercial fishermen who loved to hunt and made about $14,000 a year, and went from that and this incredible journey to where we're at. And that happened in our country. And so I've been to enough other countries that I like America, and I love what it stands for.
Did you think the TV show would work?
I didn't know if it'd work or not. I just knew we had an opportunity. What I watched I thought was entertaining, and there was a bigger picture for us by having something positive and something that kids could watch and you could sit down as a family. And I thought, I saw that sadly as a void in television. There were a lot of things that I wouldn't let my kids watch. It was just too, and so I saw that, and I was hoping it would catch on, and slowly but surely it just went like this constantly. And
is the key to it the family aspect?
I think that's.
I mean, it could be duck hunting, it could be marbles, right?
There's so many aspects that makes this show work. It's funny, it's hard to be funny, you know, and so with the generations, you have my parents' age, then you have us running business, and then you have our children. So it's so broad. It broadens the whole spectrum of entertainment. So kids can watch my kids and go, oh, yeah. And then a lot of dads will tell me, oh, Willie, I'm just like you when I had to pick the dress for my daughter. You know, we doing the same thing. And then all the way up to my parents who were, you know, grew up in a different time with these different thoughts, and they're old-fashioned. And so putting all that together through this core of business that we try to do, I think people put themselves in our lives and say, man, that reminds me, or you remind me of my husband or my uncle or whatever.
Does the family really get along?
Oh yeah, we get along. I mean, we disagree more on the show probably than we do in real life because we'll get in the show and get competitive. But yeah, in real life, we all live on the same street. So there's a dead end street, and we had to put a gate up now because we had a lot of people that wanted to visit our houses in the middle of the night. So we all are on the same street. All my brothers, I'm within about a pitching wedge from each one of them.
Who's the funniest Robertson?
Well, Uncle Si certainly is, as bizarre as he is, makes us laugh the most. But I'm pretty funny. I mean, I think funny. I love, my things that I watch on TV are funny, and so I've always had a humorous take. And none of us take ourselves too seriously, and I think that's the key. I think when you look at our show, it's like people know that these people are authentic. So we're certainly not actors, and we're authentic to our beliefs. We're authentic to who we are, and we're willing to laugh at ourselves. You know,
You're so Louisiana. What's it like for you when you go to New York or L.A. or Chicago? What's it like in big town?
You'd be surprised how many people watch our show and want to take a picture. So, and it really, it's everywhere. It's out here in Los Angeles, wherever we go, man. And that's another thing. So let's say if I'm speaking at a big event, you know, at an arena. Well, you're greeted by all the people you're doing the event for. Obviously, there's fans, but as you walk through, it's funny because the people serving the food in the tunnels of the deal, they'll start screaming, Duck Dynasty, Duck Dynasty. So it's really all these different aspects of people that watch our show. So it attracts everyone. It's not just one small demographic. It's everybody.
Do people come to watch the show? Where do you shoot it at? Where in Louisiana are you?
For the most part, we shoot it all in Louisiana, all right around our hometown, in our houses, at our business, and then businesses around. Just as
Same director?
Well, some of that's changed. Yeah, I mean, it's been 7 seasons, so we've had, you know, they've come and gone. But the core of the people out here in Los Angeles are the core, the editors and all them.
When we return, Willie will answer your questions from the social media, and we'll play a little game of If You Only Knew. Don't go away. We're back with Willie Robertson of Duck Dynasty, one of the great stories in the history of media. We have some social media questions for you. At Amber2458, what's your favorite place to visit?
Favorite place to visit? I like New York. I love going to New York. So much to do, and it's fun.
Bryson Knox on Facebook. How do you feel about your son, John Luke, getting married at such a young age?
He can get married. Corey and I got married at 19 and 18. Corey's parents got married the same age. Phil and them said they were 15 and 18, so it's worked for us. I'd rather him do that. This way he can have all his memories. I mean, Corey and I basically grew up, we went to college together. We have all these memories together, and I'm so glad it's that and not all these memories with other people, and then he gets married. So it's a little, maybe old-fashioned, but
it is, but it's
works.
Nice.
It works in our family.
What school did you go
to? College?
Yeah.
I finished, I went to college with Corey. She encouraged me to go. I didn't think I was going to go to college, and she said, well, I'm going. If you're going to hang out with me, you need to go to college. So I ended up in college. I finished up at what's now ULM in Monroe. That's where I got my degree. In health and human performance. That's my degree.
Health and human performance.
Did you have thought that?
Are you healthy?
Well, I'm getting healthier. I've lost some weight.
Azuba Shabuzer on Facebook. How do you cope with all the hate about your stance on homosexuality?
Well, I get hate on just about everything. Probably more from Christians than non-Christians, but over something that I'm doing wrong. So I try to keep a distance. I will scan just a second on Twitter just to see kind of the vibe of what's happening, but I don't sit there and read. And there's a rule in my office: do not come in there and read me a bunch of negative comments from social media. And they all know it, and they're dying to tell me, but I don't want to live in that world, because then I'll question everything that I'm doing, and then I'll start changing, and all of a sudden I'm not as authentic as I used to be. So I try to keep a healthy distance, but I'm still a part of social media.
At Sosh Media is dumb tweets. If you could change one thing about the show, what would it be?
I would like to show a little bit more of what we have, what our lives have become now. It's so interesting in reality TV. When it started, our lives were one way, and you fast forward a couple of years later, it's a totally different thing. And so it's tricky trying to make the show about reality without showing basically what's become of reality TV because of our lives. So it's an odd thing. So we're searching right now, because the show needs to change and grow and move, and so we're trying to figure that out as how the show continues to grow.
At Perfect Call Rules on Twitter, what has been your favorite episode of the show so far? Do you have a favorite?
Probably my favorite episode is when I picked the prom dress for Sadie. Just to me, it was a great lesson for young girls. It was a great lesson for dads to give, with mom being involved. And so making these family decisions and staying positive, that was probably one of my favorite.
Nutmeg79 on Instagram. How old is that beard?
The beard, it takes me about a year to grow. I haven't shaved in probably 10 or 12 years, so I trim it back. So as soon as we wrap, I'll trim it back, trim the hair back a bit. But it's winter now, so now I need it for my face. So as I go out into the cold.
Do it yourself, or you have a barber or a stylist?
I actually, after the last season wrap, I went for the first time in 12 years. Corey normally cuts it, and I'll trim my beard a little bit. But I went and actually bought a haircut. I didn't even know how much they cost.
JT Moncrief, would you ever go on Dancing with the Stars?
Actually, to be honest, they asked me last season, and I never watched it. And so I turned it on, and within 5 minutes, I said, oh, heck no. But I will say this. After watching now how it works, I know all the inner workings, I know all the dance routines, I'm firmly now convinced I will never do it because of how hard it is. My daughter is stove up. She's sore. She's got blisters all over. She's 17.
I turned it down. They offered it to me a couple of years ago. I don't want to go all that rehearsal.
And it's 3 months.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
Little game if you only knew. I'll throw some questions at you. Remember the first girl you kissed?
Yeah, I believe it was a girl named Danica on my school bus.
On the school bus?
Yeah.
How old were you?
6th grade.
Biggest thing you've splurged on now that you've had all this wealth and fame?
Biggest splurge. I bought a farm. I bought me a little farm. I call it a farm. It's actually a house, but it's 5 miles up the road. But it's like 75 acres, and so
it's a farm.
Yeah. So we go out there and have fun on it. We use it every weekend.
You got cattle?
No, I have 1 horse. That's why we call it a farm.
Guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure. Probably sitting and just watching news coverage over and over and over. I'm kind of a news
junkie.
Nut. Yeah.
What scares you?
Taxes.
What makes you most happy?
Most happy, I would say, I think being with my family when we all get together. My wife and my kids. Now we're so separated, so I'm just happy when I can hear all the stories. And we've been out here together in Los Angeles, so that makes me happy.
Something that really angers you?
When I see really abuses against people, whether it's husbands that are abusing their wives or children especially, it really
hit a child.
It just angers me.
Favorite country artist?
Oh crap! That's the worst question you could ask me because I've got so many. I really can't.
Okay.
I can't say which one because my business partners with 2, so with Luke, Bryan, Jason, Aldean, but I have so many friends that I couldn't. I'm really in that world, and I know all of them, and they're great people.
Something most people don't know about you?
They probably don't know that. They probably don't know that I had a degree in physical education. That probably got lost somewhere.
What other reality TV do you watch?
Not much. I guess when you know how the sausage is made, it's kind of hard to watch. But I do watch shows to see because, to be honest, I don't think there's been a breakout show since our show, and it's been over 2 years, and everything's kind of down. So I do watch a couple of shows just to see, is this something new? Is it authentic? And but really, I go, oh, they should have done that, and they should have done
If you weren't working in the family business, what do you think you'd be doing?
Probably coaching basketball.
And finally, if you met God, what would you ask him?
I hope it's when I meet God, but I will ask him.
Or her.
I will ask him. Why was it so hard to convince people that his way wasn't the best way? Because it seems hard.
Thank you, Willie.
Thank you, Larry. Good to see you.
Willie Robertson. I want to thank him so much for being with us. Duck Dynasty airs Wednesdays at 9 Eastern on A&E. And remember, you can find me on Twitter at King's Things. I'll see you next time.